What's going on, rovers, gamers, resonators, and gotcha gamblers? It is your boy wtfmikxy here, and today we're going to be going over the worst Wuthering Wave takes that are on my channel. Now, typically I don't really pay much attention to some of these comments because sometimes they are really ridiculous, but I just wanted to make an entertaining video out of it. So grab some snacks, maybe a drink, and let's get right into the video. So starting off with the first comment, we have a comment here that states, Wuwa has an amazing devs team. Sure, that's why we have so many bugs. The apology rewards is the last thing they can do to retain the player base, let's be honest. To be honest, guys, this comment has no thought behind it. Like, there is no critical thinking that went into this comment because Kuro Games has done a great freaking job in keeping us in touch and out of the dark when it comes to things going on with Wuthering Waves. They are always on top of the developer messages and keeping us up to date with things they are working towards the game to help fix it. They are aware of all the issues that we are currently dealing with, and they are doing everything in their power to actually fix those things. Once the community goes haywire on something that Kuro Games did to Wuthering Waves, I feel as if the devs do a great job in spinning off on those things and doing the best that they can to fix those things. And I am almost 99% sure that me and a bunch of other Wuthering Waves gamers that are part of the community who have been waiting for this game and are enjoying it since launch know that they would rather deal with the development team that is doing their best in their power to fix the issues that are presented to them. The one thing that we expect from our development team or anything that has to do with building a connection is communication. And Kuro Games gives us that communication, and that is a start to building a great relationship with your community. So yes, I do agree with you when you say that Wuthering Waves does have a lot of bugs and issues that need to be fixed, and maybe some optimization issues, but I do disagree that rewards is the only way to keep a community satisfied. I mean, to be real with you guys, they don't even have to do anything at all. So I'm not gonna lie, I really feel a lack of appreciation from this comment, but I do feel bad for lots of players who are unable to play Wuthering Waves due to optimization issues, and I get where the frustrations come from, but you gotta also realize that this is Kuro Games' first massive open world RPG game, so we are gonna have to give the development team some time to cook before we can make this comment valid. Like, if it's been a year or so already and we're still dealing with the same issues since launch, okay, then maybe this would be a major problem. But as I said before, they've been in touch with us as far as communication and even apologetic and doing the best they can by handing us rewards. To be fair, they don't even have to do any of that, but they are a good development team, that's why they do it. But feel free to disagree with me at the end of the day, this is just my opinion. Next up, this person states, if you look at the character models, they use like the same 4 character models and change hair and clothes. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, call me dumb if you disagree, but I swear that none of these resonators actually look alike. You can sit there and tell me that Camellia looks like Yin Lin, or let's do another one. Jiang Xing looks like Verena. Baijo looks like Encore. Like, is there something that I'm missing here? Oh wait, maybe Sanhua looks like Female Rover. Something is very off about this comment because I can't really place what they're trying to get at. Maybe they're talking about the male resonators of Wuthering Waves? Let's take a look. Oh dude, I got it. Ling Yang definitely looks like Mortify. Oh wait. You're talking about Jing Yan? He looks like Scar? Nah man, Kalchara looks like Male Rover. You see what I'm getting at here? I kind of don't follow this comment. Maybe the only thing that I see in similarities with our resonators is the fact that their hair colors kind of line up to be the same. And I don't know about you guys, but for those of you who pay attention to dialogue and story, I feel as if I could tell the resonators apart when they are talking. And I could sit there and point out the key features between them that make them different. But I don't know, I would need a better explanation on how they look similar in order to agree with that take. This next comment states, Wuthering Waves took into account all the 4 years of development and feedback of Genshin Impact. If we keep saying that Wuthering Waves is 4 years behind Genshin Impact right now, and that it is not fair to compare the both of them, remember that it will always be 4 years behind. I like Wuthering Waves, but stop acting as if it is competing with Genshin Impact 1.0. Okay, let's talk about something real quick. Genshin Impact has 4 years of consumer feedback, which they are not doing a good job in actually providing for the consumer being the fans of Genshin Impact. However, a lot of Genshin Impact players are okay with the way they are being treated, and that is why there is no change being made because people still play the game no matter what they are given. Those 4 years instilled a big fan base upon Genshin Impact, meaning it doesn't matter how MiHoYo would treat their players, they will still play the game due to the fact of the veterancy of being there for 4 years. And I don't really blame those gamers who put 4 years into Genshin Impact for still playing their game. When you put your blood, sweat, and tears, hard-earned money and time into a video game, of course it's going to be hard to let go no matter how the development team treats you. So yes, I'm going to continue comparing Wuthering Waves' progress to Genshin's progress. And yes, it is unfair to compare it to the 4 years that Genshin Impact has already had. They've had 4 years to add endgame content to Genshin Impact. Why did it come out when Wuthering Waves decided to come out? There's something seriously off. So you can go ahead and sit there and tell me not to compare 1.0 Wuthering Waves to Genshin Impact 1.0, but I was mainly referring to the story aspect aspect of things, and I really do feel like the main story of 1.0 of Wuthering Waves was way better than what Genshin had to offer in Mondstadt. But even when it comes to the story, there's 4 years of the Genshin Impact story that's out, and Wuthering Waves doesn't even have a whole month. So circling back on the main topic, yes, Genshin Impact has been out for 4 years. This means 4 years to get the consumers to be happy, 4 years to deal with bugs and issues and fixes, and the list goes on and on and on. So just because Wuthering Waves or Kuro Games is looking in on Genshin Impact's 4 years doesn't mean they could one-to-one copy everything to make sure we get no bugs and fixes and issues. Every game has issues, so that's why this statement is absolutely dog water. And sure, maybe you would have a better argument if it was the same development team, but you're acting as if we could come through with a very perfect game with no issues when the development team is completely different. Kuro Games is not Hoyoverse. I'd like to remind you, this is Kuro Games' first massive open world RPG, and they have a lot of consumers to please. So again, give Kuro Games some time, as it's been under a month since the release of Wuthering Waves. And all Kuro Games has done since they started marketing Wuthering Waves is listen to the feedback of the community to make their game better, and that's really all that matters. This comment states, no hate, but I don't know if Wuthering Waves will stand the test of time. I've been playing since launch and I've just run out of content completely. Plus the end game mode is uninspired. The combat kind of gets old, and when you're doing the same combo again and again just to different bosses, and the world is a wasteland. They would need to do something big to maintain their players, and I'm not sure they'll be able to accomplish that. If you ran out of content to do because you completely grinded the game in the early aspects of Wuthering Waves, that is not a fair argument in the slightest to say that the game will die out. The main reason is because you played it up until the point you felt like there was no content left. You've got to relax and understand that this is the starting stages of Wuthering Waves. And if you're going to compare it to what Genshin had for content, didn't they just add endgame content like maybe a couple patches ago? So I don't know what this baloney is about this test of time stuff. But as far as I'm concerned, I see a whole bunch of streamers and content creators still covering this game, and a whole entire gaming community that will rather play Wuthering Waves than Genshin Impact. I also just wanted to let you guys know, I actually personally like Genshin Impact and I have nothing wrong with it. What I do have a problem with is the players that think that Wuthering Waves can be another Genshin Impact right off the rip of the game. Like, oh, Wuthering Waves failed because it's not Genshin Impact or better. No, Wuthering Waves is doing completely fine. The development team is making miracles happen. I seriously don't think they go home at all. I'm actually quite worried about them, to be quite honest. With how fast they're releasing patches and dev notes and trying to fix our concerns, it kind of leads me to wonder, do they live at the headquarters of Kuro Games? But if even after that you feel as if the game is not for you, at the end of the day, this game isn't for everyone. I know you were saying you were finding not much enjoyment out of the end game contents that Wuthering Waves has to offer, and that's okay. It's okay to not like a game, but you can't really expect the dessert when the main course hasn't been served. So again, just give Kuro Games some time and let them cook. This commenter said, Wuthering Waves is never like Genshin Impact. They're different games in different versions. Genshin Impact had many changes in nowadays updates, and Wuthering Waves is still starting. I prefer Genshin Impact, after all, is the best game, and I think that Wuthering Waves is just a copycat. It even names their Spiral Abyss by Abyss the same naming. Some characters are similar, and even the world's colors feel dead. It's never better than Genshin Impact, so stop comparing the King Genshin with the maids. Well, this is your perfect example of a Genshin Impact White Knight. As I said before, there's many Genshin Impact players that are okay with the current state of Genshin Impact and will never fight for more no matter how they're treated. It's like they have a cult of players bowing down to their gods of Hoyoverse, and it doesn't matter how the gods treat them. And also, it's clear that you haven't touched Wuthering Waves because your Spiral Abyss, quote unquote, is actually called the Tower of Adversity in Wuthering Waves. But clearly you wouldn't know that because your opinion is also validated by everyone else's opinion, which essentially means you can't talk for yourself and makes you a follower and not a leader. And we aren't going to get into the hocus pocus about how the resonators look alike, because they realistically don't. You're just a hater. There's no way around it. You're literally just a hater. It's really sad too, because I fully believe that when it comes to these Genshin players, the main reason why they bow down and swear by their game, because with Genshin Impact being out for 4 years, I feel as if Genshin Impact players put a whole card payment down on their characters, or maybe even a down deposit on a new house. And with that said, I'd be in the same boat, honestly, if I spent that much money on a gacha game. And I feel like that's one of the main issues and why people can't accept change, and why Wuthering Waves is a very good competitor to Genshin Impact. And if we're gonna start with the Wuthering Waves is a copycat of Genshin Impact comments again, what did Genshin Impact do to Breath of the Wild? Tell me, what is your argument against that? It seems that people don't understand copying and taking inspiration and creating their own craft. If we lived by your hot take, everything in the world would be copying. Let's take music artists for example. You think artists grow up and just know how to have their own flow right off the bat? No, they take inspiration from other artists and create their own craft. Same thing with graphic designers, editors, even YouTubers. You know all this short form content with the text popping up on on the screen and it makes you addicted to looking at your phone and why you watch the whole entire video? Well, don't you see that everybody in every single niche possible is doing the same exact thing? That's because everybody takes inspiration off of each other. It is very hard to be original. And even when you are original, that doesn't mean it's gonna work. So of course, Wuthering Waves had to take some inspiration off Genshin Impact. It is not completely copying though. Wuthering Waves' combat is by a mile way better than Genshin Impact's combat. And that is one of many details that would make Wuthering Waves different than Genshin Impact. That is all I have for today, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, please smash the subscribe button down below so you can find your way back to my channel. And while you're down there, make sure you join my community Discord and comment your thoughts. That's it for now. Peace.